Okay, guys, I remember one time we went to a field trip. I think I was in elementary, right? So it was with this teacher who was kind of racist, So we went to a place. I don't know if it was like a place to do art or like to do sculptures. I'm not too sure. But we went there, and we had to do a little search around, like to see what is there, So we was doing that, right? And they put us in a room, right? And it was like draw some pictures, right? So we draw some pictures, and then they was like, "Okay, guys, we're gonna show you around the place, right?" So we was started to show. She was trying to show us around the place, right? And I don't know if it was a museum of things, I'm not too sure, but that happened, right? So we did that, and then we went, and then it was like a little bit of, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago that happened. We went to this other field trip, right? I don't know where exactly we went, but that teacher who was still racist, she was like, she had like apples or something like that. She was giving it to us, right? And the other kids was like looking at us like, why is she giving us apples? I mean, like us, meaning her group, So we was eating apples, and stuff like that, right? I don't know where did we went. I'm not too sure if it was like a place or it was like a museum. I think it was a museum. But this was, I think it was artifacts about histories and stuff like that, right? So I was like, why is we going to a history place? My mom signed the papers, and apparently I had to go to a field trip, right? So we did that, right? And I didn't know what the hell we was looking at, right? Until she was telling us about like these little artifacts, right? And then we went somewhere else, right? I don't know if like when we went there, they gave us some snacks to eat, I'm not too sure. But we was looking around, our group, I don't know if we got lost without the other group, but we was like walking around and we was asking that teacher like what kind of artifacts this is, and she was telling us the history and all these other things, right? So she was like telling us that it was an Arctic history statue, right? I can't remember what it was about, right? But it was something, right? It was not very interesting, so I didn't remember, right? So I was like, okay. So we had to go eat some snacks, because it was like almost time for us to leave to go back to school, right? And after we went back to school, I think we did a cooking. I think we did cooking. That's the first time I actually cooked outside the house, It was in the school, right? Apparently, that's the only class where I had like an oven and a microwave and stuff, right? So we did that, and I told you I was sucking on this thumb, right? At this point, the thumb, it used to have like a little small little not like a bump, but it had like a mark there, So after that, I went to the hospital and all the other stuff, right? That was like when I was in her class, and another. I mean, yeah, when I was in her class, that was like a year of her class, And then next year, I had to stay in the hospital because too many germs was in my body, right? So that happened, and then she was trying to tell us like she was trying to tell me like other stuff when I was in the hospital and stuff like that, what they did and stuff like that. I didn't really care what the hell she was talking about, right? And after a while, I was like, I don't want this lady in my room. So that's hospital room, right? So I was ringing a bell so my nurse to come and tell this lady to get out my room, So she did that, right? And then she left, Before she left, she tried to give me homework. Apparently, she didn't come back to get the homework, right? So it was kind of pointless for me to do it, right? But the lady came, my nurse came back, and she was like, why are you not doing your homework? And I was like, I don't need to because I ain't going to school. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to help you do your homework, even if that lady ain't going to come back to get your homework, right? So I was like, okay. So she helped me do that homework, right? And I was like, that lady not come back, right? And I told her how she was racist and stuff like that, but apparently she just wanted me to do like little works and here and there, right? She was trying to teach me some other stuff, right? So I was like, okay, That's what the mom's supposed to do, right? That's what I was thinking in my head, you know. I was maybe like 8 years old, you know, in the hospital, you know. So it was not a pleasant time. It was not a good time, but I had that mommy nurse, you know. So I was okay, you know. I was okay, you know. It's not okay that I was getting shots like almost every day. But apparently they didn't give me shots in the morning because I was a fighter. I was fighting them off, you know. So they usually give me my shots in the night when I was sleeping, right? They sneak in my room, you know, like little sneaky little bastards they are, you know, and give me shots, you know. I don't know if it was like I don't know if it was like flu shots or like to get the bacteria out of my body. So they was doing that, right? So apparently I woke up, you know, as the needle get in my hand, you know, of course I'm gonna wake up, right? So I'll start fighting them off, you know. And apparently I woke up, I was like looking around, it was like maybe like 10, 15 of them, you know. But then I was like kind of panicking, like, why are you giving me shots in the night, you know? This can be like really bad, you know. I could like freak out, you know. Apparently they didn't care, you know. So I was like, okay, y'all gonna be this way, you know. So they kept doing that, you know. So after that, I still stayed in the hospital because apparently the bacteria was not my body was not fighting off all the bacteria what it's supposed to be, right? So me enjoying like living in the hospital. Apparently I had my mommy there, you know, my mommy nurse. So I didn't care regardless, you know, if I was in the hospital or not. So we did that. She brought me some snacks and like my dinner and breakfast, right? So she was like, okay, you gonna try to eat your peas and stuff like that, you know, because I didn't like eating my fruits and stuff like that. So she was like, you gotta eat your fruits and your vegetables, you know, because then it can maybe help fight off the bacteria in your body, right? So she was telling me that, and she was telling me some other stuff, right? Like learning things, right? Because I was like 7, 8 years old. Who this kid go away? So I was like, okay. So she was teaching me that, you know, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm getting some of the words she's teaching me. Keep in mind, guys, I don't know how to speak too much English, you know. So I'm kind of mumbling to myself. She's trying to like wondering what the hell am I saying, you know. But I was like, I was mumbling, but she understand me, you know. I don't know how my teacher understand me, you know. Apparently he understand me as well, you know. But she was teaching me few words, you know, in English, you know. So I was picking up more English because I only knew like a few, maybe like mine, yes, and no, and food, and some others, but not big words, you know. I didn't know. So when I was trying to pronounce the big words, she always like tell me to like calm down and say it slower. Maybe you'll get it better, right? So I did that, and she helped me a lot, you know. So I don't know if she's still alive or if she's just out there. I wonder if she remember me. I don't think so. It was long ago, you know. I think it was like 2004 to I think it was 4 to 5. I think. Was it 3, 4, and 5? I'm not too sure because I remember half of 5th grade. I remember that much, you know. So whatever you're supposed to learn when you was younger, I didn't learn all the way because apparently I was not in school because the germs took over my body, right? So that happened, you know. And yeah, if you guys have these kind of stories, just comment down below because I really want to know, like, oh, did any of these things happen to you or anything occur in your life like this? Or maybe it's just me. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But if it is just me, I'm going to tell you half of my story, right? So yeah, like and subscribe, turn your notifications on. See you later. Bye.